Pernak here, and last week I did a video on registration and proofing a multi-block colored print. So this week I'm going to continue that, and what I'm going to do is show you how, when I had mistakes, because if you remember, on my print here, not everything was lining up. This one is actually fine because I've actually gone through and done some of the proofing work already. And I just want to show you guys how you go about it. So last week when I did my proofing, I did mention briefly shims. And that's how I move my artwork back and forth or up and down depending on how I need to do it. So basically my shims just consist of this. It's just a piece of chipboard that I cut out. And just a bunch of really thick paper. This happens to be my favorite printing paper, Stonehenge. And because it's pretty tough, it's pretty inexpensive in generally compared to most printing papers. I really like it and it holds up well. So I use this as a shim. Now one of the things I had to do when I did these shims, as you can see here, I figured out how many pieces of Stonehenge were the height of this. So I'm going to work on a hard surface here. So that way I don't have the squishiness of this right here. I'm going to work on this right here, as you can see. And I just stack up the Stonehenge, like so. And then I push down on it, and if any of these pieces merge, and I can feel this, there's a slight right there. Right there. It's a little higher on this side, so I'm going to take one of those away. And then this feels more even. It's a little bit higher on this side, but that's 4 pieces of Stonehenge here to one of these. And that's going to be helpful a lot because then I know if I use one of these or even 2 of these, I know that it is going to be a certain distance, and that's going to help me out quite a bit. So just like last week, I went ahead and I inked up all my blocks, I got everything ready, soaked my paper, did everything I'm going to need to do this print. Now as you can see, this was last time's print, and you can see that right here next to where the skin is, this yellow is just way too far over that way. And if I look at it, I know it needs to go, so I know it needs to come this way. I always get a little confused here. And I flipped it over. Okay, I know I got to push it that way. So most of my blocks are going to get pushed one direction or another. And I do that by using the shims right here. So I just simply stick a shim in here and print. I put the block in the position it needs to be right here. Put it right up against the edge. I have my paper here soaked and put into a plastic bag to keep it from drying out because it gets very warm in my studio. Just going to put that there. I'm just going to use my Baron to mark this down. Sorry about that. I forgot one important thing. My parchment paper to put on top of it, because when paper is wet like this, it likes to stick to the Baron. I realized that as soon as I did it. Now, I've already gone through this several times, and I already adjusted how much I know I need to do. So now we have the first print here. And you can see it starting to kind of show. You might or may not be able to see it from there. It's starting to show through there. You can kind of see some of the pressure. But like I said, I realized I got to move everything over. You can see the blue needs to move over, all these little things. So I went through and did another proof and a bunch of things like this, as you can see here. It's missing one color, but I wrote down how far everything needs to shift over. And I figured out some of these because I would do some proofs with just 2 colors, so I might do the skin tone and the black and maybe the blue, so I know how much I got to move each of those, and I just do the math and figure out how much everything I got to move. But I know I got to put my yellow one of the boards over, and then the SH here, as you can see, is all for Stonehenge. So I have everything written down there. So I have that. So we're going to do this one. Got my yellow there. Now I'm going to do my skin tone next here. And what do I say here? To Stonehenge. So I figured it out already. I don't need to do it. And I realized I don't need to move this up or down, because if I were had to move anything down, I'd have to move every other single block up and then just move the other one down from that many shims. So let's say I need to move one up. I need to move one block, make it go up one board or something, or two pieces of Stonehenge. I would literally take all of those, all my other blocks, took my two pieces of Stonehenge, put it below it, do my printing until I got to that block, and then remove them. Because that's the only way you're going to get a bunch of colors when you have to move up or down or further than you have to go. Meaning to move it past this point. If you have to move it past that point, that's what you have to do. And as you can see right here, I have moved my block over successfully, which means it's going to print very well. And if you're noticing, if I have any screw-ups from this, I left my blocks here. And this is one of the reasons I have the wetted paper. You can do a ghost print with these. So you get a little light, very light print if you print them a second time. And that's going to be very helpful for when I do this. So if I screw up on this one, which should not be, because I planned out everything, it got everything ready for you guys so you know what it's going to look like. So hopefully this one comes out pretty damn close to perfect. Right there, so it looks like everything else is lining up good. All the shadows. Oh, that one probably got moved over a little bit. And it did because didn't use my shims here. I should have used my shims. But we're going to finish printing this one. And I will show you the results of that because now that I've screwed it up. So this is the last color I'm printing on this proof for my registration process. And basically you would do this as many times as you need, shifting one block over each time just to see how it is. It can be costly and expensive if you don't figure it out easily. It probably took me 8 pages to do this, 8 sheets of paper. As you can see here, how everything is. You can still see there's a few problems right there. And with the hair, so the hair got moved over a little too much. Or not at all. I may have not even used the right shims. But I know I missed, but that shows you that, oh, I know I need to push that hair over more. So I would add more shims to do it. Instead, I would just add more shims. So I know this one needs to go that way and that one needs to go that way. So I would just remove some from the other direction. Let's take a look here. We're going to try this once more. And we're going to do the ghost print technique that I talked about, which is basically trying to reprint this without adding any more ink to our plate. And I'm going to pay very close attention to this. So yellow, 1 board. Got my paper. Make sure it's in there squarely. Right there. So it's very light, as you can see, but it gives you at least an idea of where everything has to be. So you don't have to waste ink doing this if you don't want to, and it can save you time because you're not re-inking your plates each time, especially on something like this where it's 7 colors. All right. And then we need to do 2 Stonehenge. 2 pieces of Stonehenge. Put it right there. Right there. See, it's very, very light, but it saves me time in trying to figure out how to do this. The next one is the other skin, the shadow. I'm going to do 2 Stonehenge for that one. So I have 2 pieces of Stonehenge right here still. I'm trying to do this very quickly before my oh boy, I can't talk today. Before my paper dries out. And as you can see here, this brown is already registered much better than what it was. So that means I know I didn't screw that one up. Okay, the next one we're going to do is the orange. And that says, I'm going to do the orange right here. That's in her bikini and horns. That is 1 Stonehenge. So I'm just going to take 1 piece right here, set it there. Grab that. As you can see, that looks pretty good there. And I'm going to do the eyes next. Eyes and the lips. Right here, blue, 1 piece of Stonehenge. So this can get very meticulous. You just have to be careful about how you do these things and make sure you pay attention each time. As you saw, you can screw it up quite easily like I did earlier. That's why I went through and I only printed the rest of the blocks and didn't need to show you guys that. Because it was already a screw up. You kind of got the idea already, but I'm going through the entire process again so you can see it. So the next one I'm going to do is the green where it says 2 Stonehenge. So I know I got 1 in there. Let's put the second one in. And you can screw this up by just shifting your paper too. If you don't put your paper in here properly, it can also shift up it can also move your entire print or move that entire block to a place you don't want it to be. So you do have to be careful with making sure you get your paper in here correctly, because now look, this one right here, it's a little off, so it shifted on me Whether or not that's a good thing or not, I don't know. Probably not, because it looks like it screwed up the green just a little bit. It moved it. So, like I said, mistakes happen. You have to be careful. And then finally, we're going to print our black one. And that's going to be 2 Stonehenge also. Because I did go through and print a very good, successful print with this. But yeah, always keep your finger on this corner right here, because that can help quite a bit. Don't pull too tight on it, because you can actually shift everything if you do it wrong. So just be careful with it. And as you can see here, things shifted a lot more than they were supposed to, probably because of the green. It looks very off. There's a lot of problems with this one, so I'll figure it out, and we'll proof it properly. So I went through and I inked up my blocks, and I printed another one here. And I still have mistakes on it, as you can see. And I changed my writing right here, writing right here from the previous one that I had. As you can see, so I'm adjusting it to which way I gotta shift everything. Because the last one I did have that mistake. I put that paper at a little bit of an angle, so it didn't work out that great for me. That is also helping fix it, but I'm realizing as I am printing this that, the green and the black need to move over, and along with the blue. So the green and the black are going to move over this way, and the blue is going to come over this way. So I got to go in opposite directions on those. So the blue I changed from 1 Stonehenge to 2. The black I changed from 2 to 1, and same with the green, as you can see here. I'm trying to see. I changed it to 1 Stonehenge from 2. So I'm going to try printing this new order, and we'll see how that one goes for you guys. All right, so I just did another proof. You can see right here. Let's get that to focus. But pretty much everything is turning out good. The green is lined up better. The blue, however, right here, the blue, however, is not. It needs a little bit of more work. It needs to come over this way more. So when I put it down on, excuse me, when I put it down on here, since I know it needs to go this way, and I put it down, I'm flipping it, so it needs to go that way more. And on my last one right here, I put the blue as 2 Stonehenge. So I went in the opposite direction than I needed to. In fact, almost, as you can see, it went further. Because there's that one. And then you can see right here how much further it moved over. So it actually moved in the other direction than I wanted. So that means I know I'm going to have to take and do this blue in the other one. So that means I have to remove one of the Stonehenges. So I will write all that on here. So I write my yellow plus 1B, my skin plus 2 Stonehenge, shadow plus 2 Stonehenge, the orange plus 1 Stonehenge, because I know that's going good. The green worked out good, so that's going to stay at 1 Stonehenge. The black, I'm going to do 2 Stonehenge, and the, nope, 1 Stonehenge. I misread my blue, my black. My blue, so I went here, so I'm going to go to 0 Stonehenge. So we're going to see how that one works. So I'm going to print one last one. I'm going to print this new one, guys. As you can tell, this one was a ghost print. because it just made life easier. And I'm going to print another one and see how it comes out, and we're going to take a look at it. All right, everyone, I have one last proof I'm going to do here. Hopefully it's my last proof. Let me put it that way. We're going to go ahead and do this, and then I'm going to show you everything that I'm doing again, of course, but it's going to be in fast motion, or I'm going to speed it up so we can get through it real fast and you can see it happening. All right? As you guys just saw in this video, right here, this is the one I just proofed in fast motion. You can see that the green is still a little bit off. So I'm getting pretty darn close here. And I know that the green is going to have to move over this way one more. And right here, I have my green with only one Stonehenge. And since I know that's the case, I'm probably going to remove that one Stonehenge, and yeah, it's because I have one Stonehenge here and one Stonehenge here, and they're lining up really good. The black is not lining up as well as I want. A lot of times, sometimes it's due to shifting and how you print it or other things, but you just have to kind of keep plugging away at it until you get it perfect. And I can tell here that this is not perfect, and I'm going to have to do some more work on it. And like I said, green will need to go this way, which means when I do it this way, it needs to go this way. So that means I either have to remove some more Stonehenge to do what I need to do, or do that. But either way, you guys get the idea of what it is that you got to do. And like I said, you just add paper to it, or you add your little shims. That's all you need to do. Just add the shims. And like I said, since I got to move this over this way, which means when I'm doing it on the block down here, that you'll see that I might have to move it over further than what the block allows. Like I said, that means I'm going to have to shim each and every single one of these extra so I can get that one to move over. So that's one way of also doing it. You have to use a little bit of math to do these. But either way, that's what this is. That's how I go about registering it and getting my proofing and shifting the blocks left and right and doing what I need to do for it. So that's all it is. It's just, you know, the wood block, the same process, but using. Everyone, thanks for watching my video. You can give me some much needed support by clicking the thumbs up down. That helps support me. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Matt Pernak. The link will be down below. Also, finally, I do have an Etsy shop. You can purchase a print from me. You just go to my Etsy shop. It's called Printing Pernak, or there's a link down below. Until next time, guys, thank you.